Alrighty, good evening everybody. Today is November 15th, just 41 days until Christmas. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that are probably really telling me to shut up or be quiet. I know Paula's probably one of them. But, you know, it's going to be here before we know it. But it is what it is, and hopefully everybody is starting to put up all their Christmas decoration, put their tree up, and no? You're not going to put your...
Yeah, I'm going to put it up, but I'm not thinking about it yet.
Oh, man.
Because we got to rearrange all this.
Oh, I know. We have to put the Christmas tree in the studio. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to put a Christmas background up.
Oh, yeah. As you know, the paranormal journey into the unknown is still kicking ass and taking names. Season 1 has been seen by... How many people do you think it's been seen by?
Last time I heard, over 6,000.
Last time it was 2,467. What do you think it is now?
6,000.
7,432 people.
Woohoo!
Since Halloween when it was released. Not bad, huh?
No, it's not bad at all.
All right. Well, tonight we're joined by two psychics. Not just one, but two. First one is going to be Mary Barrett. And we wound up meeting her for the first time at GhostCon, wasn't it?
Oh.
No, it was Jackson, Tennessee. That's right. Over at the
Southern Fried Popcorn.
Yeah, that's it. Southern Fried Popcorn. That was the first time we met Mary. And then we're also going to have Cheryl Anne Fletcher. I haven't met her in person yet.
But we talk a lot.
But we talk a lot. So... Well, we will go ahead and bring them on in here pretty soon. So, go ahead and grab that cup of coffee, get comfortable, find some snacks, and enjoy yourself. And here comes another exciting Phantasmic Journey podcast. All right, and we are back. So, we've already talked about Christmas, and we've already talked about the Paranormal Journey into the Unknown doing really well on Amazon Prime. It's just really unbelievable that we're already over 7,000 viewers. And, you know, we have some reviews that are coming through, and unfortunately we got a few that... for some weird reason, feel to give all the big shows on the network 5 stars, but us little people that are just, you know, out there, 1 to 2 stars. But, you know, we'll get over it.
Yeah. One of the complaints was, well, they don't share enough evidence. But the deal is, a lot of locations that you go to, you're not going to get a lot. You might only get a couple of EVPs. We're not...
Yeah.
Deal is, we're at these locations for 24 hours. Most of these big shows are at the locations for at least a week to a week and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So all their collaborations of evidence and stuff, they collect over a week's time. And, you know, there's precursors in those shows that people don't realize that they do.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is they're sitting there complaining, saying that it's a snooze fest. Well, you know what? We actually are showing people what it's like to actually conduct a real 100% paranormal investigation. It's not going to be like what you see on TV. We're going to have more history, more information on the location. And, you know, if we get evidence, we do. If we don't, we dwell on the history of the location. We do a lot of interviews with people of all the locations, so people that are watching can actually learn about that location. It's basically like a learning experience. We're showing people, and the reason why we did this is because there was a lot of people that said, hey, can you like show us what it's like to conduct a real paranormal investigation? And that's what we did. They talked, we listened, we did. So you got all these other people out there that are giving us bad reviews because
so far we've only gotten 2.
We gotten 3.
Oh, we gotten 3.
Yeah, we gotten 3. But the thing is, they're basically too used to the shows that are out there on the big networks.
And they probably have not really done an actual investigation themselves.
Probably.
Because a lot of them has fans of the show, but they've never experienced it for real.
Probably. So, well, that aside, what's new in the news? Anything new?
Well, last time I checked, it was 228 days to an important day.
228 days until June 23rd?
Yep.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's getting close.
Oh, yeah. But I always do my 5 facts for the week of interesting news feeds. What is next week? We're not going to have a show next Wednesday night, just to let you all know, because we want you all to spend your time with your family in Thanksgiving. And also, for me, I work retail, so I will be at work at 6 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning. For those crazy, lunatic, psychic, crazy people, not my friends that are fixing to be on the night, but we have some characters and a half that show up on Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and I'm in the mix and all that because I serve retail and I work retail, and God help us all. I have seen many tragedies and fights and
I can't do Black Friday. If I'm going to buy stuff, I'm going to do it online. I am not going to the
I only see
stores.
one thing I really want this year, and I'm going to try to get it online so I can void going to Black Friday. Only seen one thing out of it. Everything that I saw. So we're going to see if we can get that one item. After that, I don't care. It's all a free-for-all. But anyway, with that being said about Thanksgiving and stuff, while many debates whether turkey or sides win Thanksgiving this year, it turns out that we all win the holiday meal. With their over-the-belly waistband pants that have come out for Thanksgiving. They're stuffing stretch pants, they're called. And it allows you to stuff yourself with all the turkey your heart's desire, and don't forget dessert. And you don't have to worry about unbuttoning those pants. They're special pants that you can wear that expands with you. Yeah. They're called the stuffing stretch pants.
Good Lord. That's crazy.
I had to throw some Thanksgiving humor in there this week because we're not having, a Thanksgiving show.
That is crazy.
And of course, that little dance you do in bed where you huddle up under a million blankets because it's cold and you want to be cozy. But then you start to overheat, so you stick one foot out to cool down. Have you ever done that?
No.
Well, they have a new device out now. So that
Lord.
if you're cold, you can keep your feet out. They call them flip-flop socks.
All right.
And they're and it's the new answer to this. It's basically a sock without the heel and the toe. The heel's cut out, the toe's cut out. And it kind of reminds you of leg warmers.
Uh-huh.
But you can own your own pair for $14.95.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I'm just like, wow.
I'll have to get me some.
Oh, yeah. Today, National Toy Hall of Fame has announced its 2017 inductees.
Cool.
And they've inducted 3 toys.
Okay.
I know you played with them when you was a kid. I played with them when I was a kid. And I know majority of our listeners have played with them as a kid because it's not a new toy that's out that got inducted.
Okay. What?
Paper airplanes, number 1.
No, I get paper cuts. I never played with a paper airplane.
You never played with a paper airplane while growing up.
Nope, I did origami.
That's still paper.
But it's not a paper airplane.
Well, technically speaking...
It's a dragon or a duck.
Technically speaking, a paper airplane is a sort of type of origami.
No, not really. It's 3 folds. So what were the toys besides paper? Airplanes.
Ooh, wiffle ball.
Ooh. Yeah, I play with a wiffle ball.
They had 3 things. Wiffle ball. And the third one is a game, and it's one of my favorite games.
Which is?
Oh, come on. You know what my favorite game is.
I have no clue.
Really?
Yep. What is it?
The game of Clue.
Clue? Oh
yeah,
my god.
Yeah, the game of Clue was inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame.
I want to play the Supernatural Clue.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. That can be fun.
Have you heard about the execution of the chronically ill inmate in Ohio?
Nope.
They had to delay his execution today.
Okay. Why?
Because several unsuccessful attempts to find a vein to inject the legal drug to him. They could not find a successful vein to legally put him to death. So they had to cancel his death sentence today.
Wow.
The gentleman is 69 years old. He was scheduled to die for a murder that he committed back in 1997.
Oh, wow.
And this is the downfall of it. And I know that a lot of these death row inmates have to serve so many years out before they are committed, you know, to the ultimate faith that they have to see.
Yep.
But this gentleman here, a man is already dying. He's got lung cancer, he's got COPD, he has respiratory failure, prostate cancer, and he's had a hip replacement.
Wow.
And he has to take treatments, and all those treatments that he's taking and everything is on our government's money. He had the hip replacement done on our government's money. So it makes me question, you know, what do y'all think of all this? This is an open-ended question. Make your response on our Facebook Live on all this stuff, because I'm just, you know, I have mixed feelings on all this. I mean...
Mixed feelings on it.
Yes, as in, you know, that this gentleman's already dying, but, you know, they went to go ahead and give him a quick death to put him, I guess, kind of, you know, makes me think of Dr. Kevorkian, you know, the man's already done, and, you know, how Dr. Kevorkian has kind of, like, helped his patients with proceeding them on to the next life, and it makes me feel like, you know, the government's in the same way he's trying to accomplish a sentence that was already given, but at the same time, I feel like they're also trying to play Dr. Kevorkian at the same time.
Dr. Kevorkian, call on the white courtesy phone. Dr. Kevorkian, white courtesy phone.
And the last thing on the tidbit of the day. I know most of your listeners out there, if you remember high school, middle school, and all those wonderful literature books you got stuck with reading as a reading requirement or a study guide, and you had to have that big old essay paper at the end or whatever. Well, on this day in 1859, The Tale of Two Cities was published.
Dang.
Yeah,
In
in 1859. Yeah, by Charles Dickens.
Wow.
And you know, we have a holiday coming up that's very famous.
I didn't even know they had paper back then. I thought they were writing on trees.
Ha ha ha.
Writing on the bark.
Ha ha ha.
They actually had paper back in 1859.
They had paperback. Well, they had some kind of parchment. I mean, there was parchments have been found that's over 500 years old.
Good Lord.
So, but yeah. But yeah, in 1859, The Tale of Two Cities, which was by Charles Dickens. Of course, Charles Dickens is more famous about another novel, which is celebrated around Christmas time, and that's The Christmas Carol.
Yep.
So, but anybody has not remembered The Tale of Two Cities, it's basically, I remember reading it when I was in middle school. And it basically is a very good classic. And you know, a lot of our main classics have been taken out of our school system. And it was a very good classic. It was set in London and Paris. If you want to know the two cities, if you've never got to read the book, it's about London and Paris during, before and during the French Revolution. So it has a lot of history, but it also has a lot of a good storyline with it too. Kind
of reminds me of Sherlock Holmes books. That was during the time of London and all that at the same time.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's just amazing. And Charles Dickens is good. He has wrote several books, and he has a very, you know, he's one of those time limiting authors like Mark Twain and Nathaniel Hawthorne. And you know, if you want a good Oliver Twist or a Crystal Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Scrooge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are absolutely good books too, but everybody kind of forgets about the Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah, I really don't remember reading that one. Tale of Two Cities. The only thing I actually remember reading anything that had to do with London was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Well, I remember that book too. I think I read that when I was in 5th grade. Also another one, if you want to go those terms and terminology, Frankenstein was done in England.
Yeah, it was, but I didn't read Frankenstein. I saw the movie, though.
Oh, I read Frankenstein. I read Frankenstein when I was in 4th grade.
A lot of people always say the book's better than the movie. No, movie's better than the book, I think. So
you always want to read the book first before you watch the movie, because 9 times out of 10 they cut at least a fourth of it out.
I guess so. So there's one thing I do want to get across before we bring our guest in. It's kind of like a major pet peeve, but let me explain something about the Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. You're sitting here going, oh Lord, what's he gonna do? Got those wide eyes. Our show is unscripted, not staged. It is a real 100% paranormal investigation. You may or may not see something that will occur within the first 5 minutes of the show, like they usually do show on the major network shows. However, that is not how a regular 100% paranormal investigation works. Some folks just really don't know what goes on during a paranormal investigation. We did an investigation at the Massac County Courthouse. We had a news reporter there that stayed there the night with us, and she was in total utter shock of what went on behind the scenes. She goes, this is it? I'm like, yeah. I looked at her and said, it's nothing like what you see on TV, is it? And she goes, no, absolutely not. So basically, the reason being is because what you are seeing on TV is usually staged and scripted. Most of the shows are basically have truly ruined the paranormal realm and also the true identity of paranormal investigations. So I just really wanted to, get that off my chest here. Always remember that the Paranormal Journey into the Unknown is 100% not staged, not scripted, raw. I can't say uncut because it had to be edited. Otherwise, you'd be sitting there watching a 24-hour investigation, and I don't think anybody has time for that. But, yeah. Crazy stuff. But anyway, like I stated earlier today, we have not one, but 2 psychics that we're going to be talking to. First one is going to be Miss Mary Barrett. And then the second one's going to be Cheryl Anne Fletcher. So we're excited to go ahead and talk to them, ain't you?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
You have a whole handful of questions. I feel so sorry for them.
I told them be prepared.
Yeah. At least it's not a college-ruled paper, so I'm kind of happy.
Oh. Well, my original questions are stuck on a laptop that crashed.
Yeah, her laptop died today.
Oh, and yeah, that's our little sad little thing that has happened today that's made us, kind of a at home, because my wedding, our wedding.
Your wedding? Oh, marrying yourself? I guess so.
Our wedding script is on there, along with all of our stuff that we've planned out for our wedding, along with along with a couple of other things. Our music and everything is on that laptop that crashed. So I'm just like, huh. So he's supposed to be working on it between now and Thanksgiving, and hopefully we can get it back up and going. Pray.
Wow.
We'll pray.
So you're saying our wedding's gonna be scripted?
No, all of our music and all of our everything, our whole thing of what everybody's supposed to be doing.
Wow.
and
I got you. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome our 2 guests. Miss Mary Barrett and Cheryl Anne Fletcher. Are you both there with us?
Yes, we are.
Hi. How are you doing this evening? How are you guys doing this evening?
I'm doing okay.
What's the weather like out there by you? I know you're down in Tennessee. Is it raining?
Not yet. It's supposed to.
Oh, we had nothing but rain today. And then we also had an internet outage at work. So that was a lot of fun. everybody's running around going, why is the phone not working? Why is the internet not working? And we didn't have a modem.
Yeah.
So, all right, Paula, floor is yours.
Okay, are you ready, ladies?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. Well, my first question of the night. Have you all, and it depends, I mean, you can take the question in stride, whoever wants to go first to answer this or whatever, it's an open discussion. Have you always been known as being a psychic, or did the ability develop at a certain point in your life?
Who are you asking, me or Cheryl?
Both of you.
Cheryl, you want to go first?
Whoever wants to hit the buzzer.
All right. Okay, I'll go. I'll go first. I've always had the abilities, but I didn't know what they were because I did not grow up in a psychic home. Evan, are you picking me up okay?
I'm picking you up
Yeah,
just
we
fine.
hear you guys crystal clear.
Okay, you're not on this end or on Cheryl's end.
You guys
And
have
there's
your
a lot of
speaker.
feedback, and I'm not on speaker.
Okay, is she on speaker?
Cheryl,
Yes. Yes.
are you on speaker?
No, not at all.
Okay, so you're both not
Okay,
on
I can hear
speakerphone at
you
all.
real clear.
Huh,
Yeah.
that's weird. Yeah, we can hear you guys real clear too. Clear as ever. Yeah, we're not getting
It's weird.
any feedback or anything. You'll see once the when the show is over and you actually go back and rewatch it, you're going to hear that all the audio is crystal clear. Because if we would have had feedback, we'd actually have it on our end too, and we don't. We don't have any feedback at all. Are you basically hearing an echo where you hear yourself talking twice?
That's interesting because aren't you? Yeah, I'm getting it really garbly.
Huh. That's weird.
Cheryl, you sound real clear to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, vice versa with you. Yeah.
That's
I
weird.
think it's on Gavin's end and Paula's.
I'm not sure how. Everything's crystal clear over here. Usually the weather has something to do with it, but yeah, I mean, we've got sound coming through our speakers out in the front, so that's how the Facebook Live picks up the audio. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, everything is a-okay here. But yeah, go ahead and answer that one question. I guess Cheryl, we'll go ahead and let you. You're gonna have to pick either one.
Okay.
So, because you know they don't have a
Well,
buzz.
first of all, thanks for having us on your show. It's obviously quite a pleasure.
Oh, not a problem. It's our pleasure.
My gift came to me because I had a near-death experience at the age of 11.
Okay.
So mine was given to me, you know, by an act of Christ is what I call it. So
Gotcha. Okay, I'll let Mary answer this next question first, and then I'll have Cheryl to answer. When you knew that you had the ability, did you keep it a secret, or was you straight forth into knowing that you had this ability and you try to tell everybody what's going on with you?
Well, that's a two-sided coin question. When I moved to Tennessee, I didn't let anybody know because we're in the Bible Belt, and a lot of people look down at it, and we even got thrown out of a church when they found out that, you know, I was a psychic medium. But close friends and, you know, relatives knew, and I also worked my own business with it, but I just didn't let anybody in my town know. But now they all know, so I don't hide it anymore.
Gotcha. Cheryl?
well, when I had my first vision, of course, it for me, was very alarming at the age of 11. Of course, when you're 11 years of age, you know, you really can't speak about it to anybody, because everybody at that time would have said, well, you probably have, you know, a friend, you know, an imaginary friend at the age of 11. So I really wasn't able to announce my gift at all until I was in about 18, 19 years of age, when, you know, it was becoming more saturated.
Gotcha.
Saturated.
Yeah, so I really couldn't talk about it. It was pretty much until my first vision, of course.
Gotcha. So basically, so did you have family supportive, Mary and Cheryl both? Did you all have a family supported background when they figured out what you could do, and you had that, you know, that support rooted system that helped support you in your abilities?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did also. Absolutely.
For the listeners that are out there, this question is for both of you, and of course, Mary, if you want to answer first, then Cheryl, or vice versa. For my listeners that are out there that are not too sure what psychics are, I want you to explain your psychic abilities of do you have.
Could you repeat that?
I want you to tell our listeners what exactly is psychic abilities do you have, and what is actually pertaining to being a psychic.
Okay, I pretty much have all the abilities, and I see people. They're like holograms. I hear people talking to me. I see shadow people. And a whole bunch of other good stuff. I really blew open with everything. And a lot of people don't realize what a psychic is, especially if they don't grow up in the home. And they sometimes think it's nerves, or think it's PMS, or they think they're going crazy. But they should really check to see if they're psychic abilities and one form or another is coming through.
Gotcha.
Cheryl?
Yeah, Cheryl.
Okay. Yeah. My different levels of being a psychic medium would include being able to see, being able to hear up to 3 miles away.
Oh, wow.
I'm able to sense what the other person is feeling. I'm able to pick up any of their emotional stress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also able to pick up anything that has to do with anything when it comes to their death. I'm able to channel in to what they've experienced in the past, present, and talk about what's going to come down the line for them. And as far as the other stuff, what is it like to be a psychic?
Mm-hmm.
What it really looks like is that people perceive you, if they don't know you as an individual without your psychic ability put aside. People will label you as, you know, a fake, or they will label you as people will think you're obviously, like Mary said, you know, having mental issues. What it's like to be that is really, you have to deal with people in a way that you have to be compassionate with their perception of who you are until you are proven.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you, Cheryl. What is the definition of, well, between a psychic and a medium? Because there's two different things, right?
I didn't quite hear you. You're garbled.
What is the definition? There's a because a psychic and a medium are two different things. What's the definition of them? I mean, what makes them different?
What makes them different is psychic ability is you're being able to see into things. You're being able to pick up vision. You're being able to channel in all the visionary piece of them. Now, becoming a medium or mediumship is where you're picking up all the senses, all the things that they're feeling, and you're kind of like a sensitive, somebody who's sensitive and being able to, feel everything that person is feeling.
Kind of like an empath.
Right.
Okay, I got you. I was just kind of curious on that because we have a lot of people that ask us that.
Okay. How long have you been helping people, and what makes you decide to pursue that as a path in life?
I've been helping people for a long time. And I really didn't have a choice. Because they brought me, the spirits, got me there, and I would have to say what they were telling me, or they would not let me alone. And every time I would try to get a so-called regular job, I'd end up losing it. No fault of my own, but I'd always end up with my psychic work. So I finally threw my hands up and I did it full time. Because when they want you to tell somebody something, they will nag at you and push you until you do it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm watching Gavin. He's making a mess.
Don't mind me.
Anyway, okay. Cheryl?
I have been experiencing my abilities since the age of 11. And I'm currently 57, so it's been a very long time. And how I've stated this for all my life, and Mary knows this too, that we don't select them, they select us.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so when they have a message, or they need clarification, or they need to reach a loved one, they will draw me in, and there is absolutely, it is so hard to say no. It just depends upon the level of urgency, and Mary knows that too. And yep. And so when we are summoned, is what I call it, to help out or pay attention, they don't let me go. It's like I have to answer the call, or I cannot continue with my own agenda. And I know Mary's the same way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they won't let you ignore them. You have to do what they need at the time.
Kind of like this one movie that I saw. I think it was Ghost Town or something like that, where the dentist actually can see the spirits, and then once the spirits realize that he can see them, he never leaves them alone. And then he tells all his buddies, and then everybody else comes to him, and it's like this guy's running around the city, and he has like 50 million spirits following him because he can see them. I can just imagine that. That'd be crazy.
Exactly.
Was there some point when someone told you that being psychic was a special ability, and not ever be afraid of it?
Can you repeat that, Paula?
I said, was there some point when someone told you that being a psychic was a special ability and never be afraid of it?
Actually, I've had ministers tell me that. When I was thrown, well, me and my family were thrown out of the church when they found out what I did. It devastated me. So I had called my minister back home in Pennsylvania, and another minister here. I started going to his church. They both said, you have gifts from God, and there's nothing to be afraid of.
Right.
Because when you're working for God, you know, it's nothing to be worried about. Now, people say it's the devil work. No, only if you are working in the black. But I and Cheryl work in the white.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Cheryl, your input?
Paula, you're going to have to repeat it because it was jarbled.
Sorry. Was there some point when someone told you that being a psychic was a special ability and not be afraid of it?
Oh, yes, ma'am. It happened in 2013, to be very specific. I was at my church in Grand Island, Nebraska. I confided in my pastors, you know, what I was doing, because I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right things for Christ.
Gotcha.
Right? And when I approached them and told them what I was doing and that I had actually felt a sight to reach out to people to help and help better people,
Gotcha.
they told me straight up that I had to go home and read Acts and Chronicles, and that if I was practicing in those forms of those two different passages, then I needed to be exercised.
Oh, wow.
So then I said, okay, I will do that. So I went and did that, and I came back and I said, this doesn't apply to me. And they said clearly, well, we cannot have you in our church. So I was exiled out of my church.
Oh, wow.
So then I went to a evangelical, or not an evangelical, it was called Abundant Life. And there I was accepted and totally received, because they also did prophesizing. And at which time I was actually asked to do reads to kind of prove my abilities. And then, of course, I was received in a very blessed way.
Gotcha. So do you feel that everybody, and Mary can answer this question first, so do you feel that everybody has a certain degree of an ability then, or is it gifted to only certain ones?
No, I think everybody has an ability, but they all have different levels. And I believe that children especially, they are portals, and they know a lot. And if they would just talk about it, like I have a grandson, he started when he was 2 years old. But now that he's 14, he's shut it down for right now. And what I'm thinking is when he gets older, he'll open back up again. But yes, we all have abilities. We're all born with abilities, but we're not all born with the same abilities, and we're not born at the same level with our abilities.
Gotcha.
Like you could have a little bit of a psychic ability and be a real strong medium, or you may be a mediocre. You know, it just depends on what you're supposed to be doing with your abilities.
Cheryl?
Yes, I believe with all of my heart that everybody is gifted. Everybody is. It isn't until a person decides at whatever age they are to trust what they see, hear, feel, and sense, and It is so imperative for people out there, especially like Mary said, with children, to not shut that down. Don't, if a child comes to you and says, I see people, or I'm sensing this, or, there's something that's bothering me in the night, or whatever, parents need to pay attention, or their caregivers need to pay attention, because children are gifted until they are told otherwise.
Gotcha. With that being said, I've got a question offside that kind of gives you also the deviation when you were talking about a portal, the children being a portal, and the children, they're more open to things, so that makes it, you hear the stories about children seeing people in their house, or that imaginary friend, so it makes you think twice, is it actually an imaginary friend or not? What's your intake on that?
I didn't hear the last part of what you said.
Yeah, I didn't either.
As in, when you were talking about children, and then children are more perceptive of, being involved with their psychic abilities, and having some kind of ability at a small age, they just don't know what's going on. That kind of makes you think of them seeing their imaginary friend, and everybody has always claimed, oh, it's just their imaginary friend. It makes you second think of, was it really an imaginary friend that they were seeing? What's your take on that?
Well, my daughter used to have an imaginary friend called the Blue Teacher. I don't believe that they were imaginary friends. I really don't. I think what's happening is that the children are seeing people that have passed over. I know my grandson I just talked about, who was 2, he was talking to my father and my aunt, and he didn't even know them. So they died way before he was born. But I don't believe it's imaginary friends at all. I feel that since they have just come from the other side, they are closest to the other side. So they see and they hear a lot more than we think they do.
Cheryl?
Exactly. I totally agree with what she said. And then on my side note is that when I have read children, or there's been a child present during a reading, or a child is brought into, a paranormal investigation, or, the child just happens to be there, and I know right away that they are seeing what I'm seeing, or they come and tell me what they've been seeing. Being a skilled psychic and being in the realm of being mediumship psychic, as long as me and Mary have been, when it comes to that type of stuff, you need to contact someone who is truly renowned and is skilled to be able to test your child to see if they are seeing the things that you're seeing, or consult someone to do the validations, because 99% of the time those children are true, in fact, trying to validate it through their parents or friends that they are seeing these things. And it is imperative for people to stop and pay attention and get a hold of somebody who, like I said, is gifted and knows and has had years of experience of working with children or in this field, so that the child can be validated.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
What are your personal spiritual views of psychics, you guys, working with us as paranormal investigators and working with the paranormal? I've had, gives and takes on psychics being in the paranormal world. Personally, I think you all are a benefit to us. But some people disagree. But what is your take on helping us as investigators and fellow people that want to help find the answers of at locations and help people?
I have been on investigations, and Paula, are you talking?
No, I just got done talking to you. I'm not saying anything else. I'm letting you have the floor.
Are you hearing other voices besides ours?
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Yeah, here we go. Gavin, you have a man behind you.
I have a what?
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to Paula's question. Paula, I believe that psychic mediums do help on investigations because they are more attuned than, well, you guys were with me when we were at the Southern, whatever it was in Jackson. And when I was doing the gallery, you guys were doing your boxes and your, I don't know what they were called. But everything that I was getting, you guys were validating with your equipment.
Yep.
So, yeah, I do feel that psychic mediums on an investigation are one who is strong in their abilities. I think, yes, they're good to go with you because they bring out stuff that you might not be able to pick up. Or you may have a spirit that doesn't want to talk to you, but would feel more comfortable talking to the psychic medium.
Right, or talking through electronic devices like, remember my tablet? It started typing and there was nobody there.
Yep.
That was wild. My tablet just started typing weird gibberish stuff, and I close it out and it loads right back up and starts typing again. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, it didn't make any sense.
But it did to the words did. Because like when I said something about my mother and it showed September. Yeah. My mother's birthday was September. And then it validated about that one girl that I forgot now that somebody she knew died or she tried to commit suicide or something.
Yeah.
And
Patty?
I didn't want to say it, but the machine said it, remember?
Yeah, yeah. Was it Patty?
What?
Was the name Patty?
That kept coming up, yeah.
Okay.
That was her. But you have a good memory.
Yeah. To a point.
Yeah. To a point.
Now let's see if you can remember your wedding anniversary.
Oh yeah. I got to tell you something that happened to me. We were doing ghostology over at the Paducah Public Library, and this strange woman walked on up to me, and she said, what did she say? What number was it?
27? Was it 27?
29 or something like that?
Yeah. I don't remember what the number was.
No, 28.
28.
She said, does 28 mean anything to you? And I'm like, no. Well, ever since that, I didn't even remember our wedding day. I said, yeah, we're getting married on June 28th. And she looked at me and said, excuse me? I had 28 on the brain. 28 was always with me. I would write 28. I can't explain that. Just, I don't know what the heck happened. You ever had anything like that happen?
No, not really. I have a lot of strange things happen anyway.
Cheryl, what's your personal spiritual views on the paranormal?
I have been doing paranormal investigations, my goodness, for 30-some years. But I really didn't go into the paranormal realm with teens until 2011. And what I have found in education when it comes to working with teens, it is such an education for them to see me work Are you still there?
I'm
Yep.
still here.
I'm still here.
Okay. It is an education for them to see a true psychic work, because again, like Mary said, sometimes the equipment doesn't always pick up what we pick up. What does happen, like with the handheld type devices, etc., but when you're filming a psychic, or if you're doing EVP, well, then of course it's validation that you have a true and in fact psychic on board. There's
Right.
no guesswork. The teams and the people that see you working finally understand that we are here for a purpose, and it's to prove that there is an afterlife.
Yeah, there was one investigation that we went to, and we had Rick Hayes with us, along with Keith Age, and we were at a place called the Doss House, and Rick Hayes was walking around, and he went down into the basement, and he's like, I'm seeing blood dripping off a hand.
See, and I did a complete research of the location, so I knew what was going on, and he told me not to tell him absolutely 100% nothing about the building.
Yeah, and he was like, I see blood dripping off a hand and dripping on the floor, and there's like puddles of blood on the floor, and I'm just like, wow.
And I already knew what room he was in, but
He was in the morgue.
Yeah, he
and
was
I
in the
I
morgue.
told him that afterwards. I go, well, you just basically described everything that was going on in the morgue at that time. He goes, yeah, I know. I'm like, wow, that's just truly amazing to be able to have that type of gift.
The next question is, what's your general approach when you counsel people? When you have someone that comes up to you and they want to do a reading or anything to that point, what is your general approach when you you have your session with the people?
Okay, if I heard you right, you want to know about counseling people?
Yeah, what's your general approach when you have someone that comes to you? Because I know you get all different types of people in your life that approach you. You've got some that are just, they're desperate, and then you have some that just needs closure, and then you've got some that, they don't know how to complete themselves because they don't know how to move on because they've lost a loved one. And I've ran into some of those that are just, whoo! And I've even sent a couple of them to you guys. or I've tagged you in a couple of them, because the fact is I'm like, whoo, okay, I know somebody you need to talk to.
Right. And what I do is I talk to the person. I also don't want to know anything. I don't want to know names or anything at that point. I'll talk to them for about a minute. I'll ask them their name, and if they're looking for anybody in particular or not. But what I do is I give them what I see, feel, or hear, and then afterwards I'll ask if they have any questions. This isn't a mediumship, but it is. There was a lady in one of my galleries that I went to, and I did not even want to talk to her because she tried to commit suicide a few times. And her friend came up to me, and I whispered, and the husband said, let's see what you have to say. Well, I told her everything. I told her that, she's tried to commit suicide a few times. She should not do that. She's here for a purpose. And then her child that had died is the reason she wanted to commit suicide. Well, that child came through and told the mom, you need to live your life. I'm fine. And it was good for her. I mean, it was heart-wrenching for me to say all this and to feel all this, but then in the end, she thanked me and her husband thanked me. And she was crying pretty hard, but she said she would not try to commit suicide again. She heard from her son, and that was what she needed.
Wow.
Cheryl?
When people come to me for a reading, when we do our gift, it is 100% counseling. It's not just reading; it's also counseling through it.
Mm-hmm.
When a person comes to me and needs help, the picture I will give you and your audience is like this. I allow them to ramble. 99% of the time, people are very nervous to be read, or they're afraid to being read. We talk about the sun, moon, and the stars, but not once during that time am I asking anything. I'm already there. And once a person becomes relaxed, just like any counseling session, they are able to open up a lot better, and Mary knows this. They're able to open up better so that we can go into them and help them through whatever issues they're going through. Now, a huge example to that was tonight in class, in my art class. I'm doing my painting, doing my thing, and out of nowhere, this girl asked me in class, "So I hear you're a psychic medium." And I looked at her and I said, "And I know that at one time, you know, you had some pretty heavy issues." And she just looked stunned. And I said, "But this is not a time nor a place to talk about it." I said, "But after class, I'd be glad to help you through that." So after class, I met with her briefly, and I explained to her that the miscarriage that she had was indeed a miscarriage, and also it was a boy, because they did have the blood draw done, and she had miscarried into her 4th month of pregnancy.
Oh, wow.
I did not know, or they never told me nothing. I said, "You were going to have a boy," and I said, "Let's talk about that." I said, "You know, we carry children as long as God allows us to carry them. We're fortunate to even become pregnant. A lot of people can't." I said, "That child will come back to you in a different pregnancy." I said, "So be ready, because in the next, 4 months away from 4 to 5 months out, you will be experiencing another pregnancy." And ironically, she said, "Oh my God." She said, "We were just talking about that tonight, and another person had told her," a friend of hers had told her, because she's also gifted, that she would be having another pregnancy within 4 to 5 months out. So that counseling piece from the get-go is everything. When you get somebody on board that needs your help, it's all about helping.
Gotcha. Next question. Have you ever helped with cold cases? Mary?
Yes, but I don't have validation on that.
Gotcha.
I helped the police recover a girl out in Oklahoma, but it wasn't a cold case. It was a runaway situation. And a client of mine wanted me to come out there. Do you want me to tell you the story? Because it's not really a cold case.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if
Tell us the story.
if you tell us a story, I mean, if you help the police any form or fashion, that's fine. I just want to show the ability that psychics also can help with any kind of cases that are out there, and show how important you can even give back to the community.
Yes. A client called me up, said that her granddaughter ran away. I explained the whole area where she was at. She told the cops. The cops said to get me out there. I went out there, and I said, "She's in this area." There was like a cul-de-sac of houses, but I wasn't sure which house, but I knew she was there. And we were doing stakeouts with PIs and cops and everything. And I came home. When I left there, they went and raided the one house where we thought she was at, and she was right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I have helped the police on other cases too, but some I can't talk about.
Well, that's fine. Well, I just want to, bring it out there that you do work with, the public on different levels. Cheryl?
Yes, ma'am. 2 cases, total validations and also mentions. In 2011, we had in Lincoln, Nebraska, we had 2 cases back-to-back within 6 months that I helped with and followed through all the way to the funerals, because I have to do that in order to, say goodbye and have my closure. The very first case I did was that of a missing man about 150 miles away from us at that time in Grand Island, Nebraska. What had happened was this person came up missing. They couldn't find him. I went up to the location. Excuse me, I had a cough.
It's okay.
And actually found the person in the water. They had been dragging for 7 days.
Ooh.
Come up on the scene. I could see him in the water. Told the police what they needed to do to eradicate the trees in the pond. He had actually capsized and drowned. Thought he had been shot and during a hunting accident.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So once I told them what to do to eradicate the trees that they didn't even realize was in the pond, the next morning during church I was called and told by them that once they eradicated the trees, like I told them, this guy would come up on the south bank the next morning, which it did actually happen.
Wow. What
So
does
the second situation, I was told by 1011 News in Grand Island, Nebraska, through Steve White. It was up on the news for 4 days that a couple in Starkey County in Omaha, Nebraska, a man was missing in a blizzard and his girlfriend. And I kept seeing it. I kept seeing where they were, stranded. And so I told Steve White to send to me on my fax a picture of them. Within that amount of time, the man had got out of his car, went out walking around trying to find help, but they were both on coke, and they were stranded in a blizzard. And he died in the snow, but they couldn't locate her.
Oh, wow.
Well, after I got the picture off the fax, I wrote down everything about her since the day she was born. I sent it over to 1011 News in Lincoln, Nebraska, and sent the picture where they could find her, because they had passed over this woman because she had gone out trying to find help too. And she ended up, they couldn't find her for like 3 days. And so I drew the picture of where she was because they couldn't find her. They had gone over her body several times. And when I gave them the picture, they found her within 10 minutes. I knew exactly where she was. I could see it very clearly. And I worked with 1011 News and the police departments on both cases.
gotcha.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yes, it is.
Very impressive.
Have you ever saw a story in the news? Have you ever saw a story in the news that it bothered you because you knew the answer to the case, but you didn't know how to go about to get the answer to them?
Yes, there was one incident where it's still going on around here in the court, but yeah, I knew things that I felt and I saw, and some of it was verified through the media, but then you couldn't contact it with an active investigation Yeah, but I did contact them through Facebook, but I never heard back from them.
Gotcha. Cheryl?
Paula, could you repeat the question slowly?
Ever saw a story on the news or in the newspaper that it bothered you because you knew the answer to the case, but you didn't know how to go about getting a hold of them?
Oh my gosh. That happens a lot with me, but unfortunately I do know how to go about it. I usually contact like the newspaper, or I get in contact with a family member, you know, through the agencies, like whoever's investigating and whatnot. Yeah, and I have been validated to do so.
Have you?
See, they're not that open in Tennessee here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because you're down in that area where it's really hard to, you know, get that
The Bible Belt.
reception. Yeah.
Actually, the police gave the reporter here, the local reporter, verification about the girl out in Oklahoma, and it was an interview. She sat right in my house and did it, but they had it online only, wouldn't put it in the regular newspaper where you buy it. That's how they are out here.
Oh, wow.
And that's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I believe, you know, you guys help in a 360, in my opinion, a whole 360 atmosphere. You help us as in a paranormal team. You help us as an individual. You help us as in helping the local law enforcement. You help with answers that people cannot predict, you know, cannot retrieve themselves. And no offense taking, but I think you guys should be put on a pedestal as good as a teacher that teaches the kid in the classroom math or arithmetic or reading or writing, because, you know, you are our teachers. You are our answers. Personally, I call y'all psychic guardian angels, because you are one of those that, I mean, me and Gavin personally have went to you guys about certain situations, and of course, especially with me having strange dreams here lately, and I'll throw stuff on Facebook, and you both all message me going, okay, what's going on? So that's another reason why I wanted to make sure I brought you guys on, because I respect both of you very, very. Me and Gavin both do. We respect every single thing that you guys do. We would like to work with you guys more. I know we're going to get to work with Mary come next May. And we haven't had a privilege to work with Cheryl yet, but we'd like to put you in our endeavors sometime and be able to have the privilege of doing some stuff with you too. I hope y'all heard me. It's awful quiet on that end.
And I thank you for everything of that. Every part of that. That was just wonderful. Thank you.
I gave you a thumbs up. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw you.
Oh my goodness.
So what exciting endeavors are you all seeing in the future with the paranormal, the psychic world, and everything outside of that?
Cheryl, you go ahead and answer.
That's a loaded question.
I have to have you repeat it, Paula. Go slow, because the feedback on my end is really bad.
Okay.
It's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. I know I had a lot in it. I could have broke it up. So what exciting endeavors are you seeing in the future with the paranormal, the psychic world, or anything outside of that? We're not talking about you to predict, but what's your involvement? What's your future involvement with the paranormal world? What's your future involvement with the psychic world? What's your future involvement with anything else that, you know, pertains to your abilities?
Wow.
So if I heard you correctly, because I'm hoping I did, is that you're asking me what's in my future regarding working in the paranormal?
Yeah, well, working with the paranormal, outside the paranormal.
Slow down there, Speedy Gonzalez.
Sorry.
Oh, wow. That really didn't come through.
I told her to slow down, Speedy Gonzalez. She's like, blah, 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 real quick. She needs to slow down. Quit being excited.
I love it though.
Calm down. Jeez.
Well,
I haven't had my
well,
cheese
for
tonight.
me personally, in my personal life, right now I'm working on a business plan for another business. In my personal life is great. Things are moving along just fine. But as far as the paranormal, well, I will be doing some investigative work here pretty soon. And then in August of 2018, August 18th of 2018, everybody out there, I think, pretty much knows that I'm having a huge paranormal conference where I'm bringing in 2 celebrities. One being Tommy Bull, who is a director for Hollywood. He directed Miami Vice, Face Off. And then, of course, I'm bringing Jeff Mudgett in to talk about H.H. Holmes, his great-great-grandfather. And I'm bringing Josh Hurd in to talk about Melbourne Manor. And the whole venue is geared around author and filmmaker. So I'm diligently working on that, making sure that everything goes well.
I didn't hear our name.
In Lincoln, Nebraska, and at the Cornhusker Hotel. So yeah, and school's good. I'm about ready to get my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. So yeah, everything's wonderful, paranormal and personal.
I didn't hear our name in that list.
What's that?
I didn't hear our name in that list.
Oh, well, you know, we can always add you. It's not like we couldn't. You silly.
I know.
Mary, I know also you're, I don't know, Cheryl, if you're an established author or not, because I was trying to run some little stuff and I even asked Gavin, I says, is Cheryl an established author? I know Mary is. So are you writing on the side or have you published anything?
Well, what's going to be going on for me personally, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a huge, huge situation for me right now. I'm gearing up to write my first book. It's going to be the afterlife versus scientific evidence.
Oh, wow.
And proving that there is, in fact, a super psychic, super sensitive people stemming clear back into the 1700s, where people were obviously, like Mary and I have talked about, is that people were locked up back then for schizophrenia when it was not, in fact, schizophrenia.
Right.
Yes.
I have three people lined up that are willing to go to their doctors and go off the medication and take them and do case studies to prove that they can be in the same damn building I'm in and see what they see on one side of the building compared to what I see and hear, feel, and all that, and then prove that they are super sensitive. And so I'm going to be writing a book about that. So it's going to be, you know, basically, you know, science first life, because I have done a lot of research in that for criminal justice, and I have discovered some pretty bizarre stuff that people should have never been put on medications when they were super sensitive people. So that's what that book's going to be about. And that's going to be wrote with a psychologist.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I mean, that's...
I'd read it.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want an autographed copy.
I would say that is one I would like to share with other people, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Especially these ones that, you know... Yeah.
These ones what?
Well, I have a few that book would be perfect for that I would love to hand that out to.
Have anything to do with a guy and a duck?
No.
Oh. Okay, never mind.
No, not ones that talk to trees either.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I got a question.
Oh, no, I know it was going to come
Have you ever encountered someone that claims that they're psychic and they read trees?
Yeah, and that's all they do. They read trees. They don't read people. They don't read
What?
the atmosphere, but they read trees. And they tell us how the trees are feeling.
Well, no, it doesn't tell you how to.
Oh my God, I think I need a medication right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Mary, I think we need to talk about this after the show.
Oh my God, it was just really bizarre. We had an old investigator with us back then when we were doing Phantasmic Ghost Hunters, and he would read trees. I kid you not. He'd be like, the tree called me out. Okay. Or he's like reading a door or a wall. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Hey, Gavin.
Yeah.
If he was old and around in the 60s, that might have been some acid or some other stuff he took. Oh, Lord.
No. But I will tell you, he had fun with a duck. We'll just leave it at that.
Wow.
It was a plastic duck, too.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, yeah, he would be like, he's in a house, and all of a sudden it's like, I've been drawn outside. No, I've seen other psychics say they've been drawn to a specific area, but for a reason, but he gets drawn to trees. Why? I don't know.
Oh, Mary.
How come you're suffering with your ducky there, Gavin?
Do what?
And then wait. Can I ask a question back?
Sure.
Was this during the Adam and Eve time? I'm just kind of wondering.
No, it wasn't there. Well,
You know the apple tree where I'm going.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Adam. Never mind.
Oh, God.
No,
All right.
it was not. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Oh well.
Poor Paula.
Well, I tell you
I know,
what.
right?
I tell you what. When you're
And she folded off her chair.
well, pretty much, yeah. If you look around Facebook, look for a guy named Thad Ranger.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no.
He has a video.
Oh, God.
Thad Ranger, purebred American,
Oh, God.
and he signed up for a subscription to AdamandEve.com,
Oh, God.
and they gave him a free gift. And the reason why he jumped at AdamandEve.com is because he thought it had something to do with Bible history.
Oh, it wasn't about the Bible.
Until he got his free gift in the mail.
Oh, my God.
The video is so hilarious. I kid you not.
Oh, Lord.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Oh God.
Well, that's a new one, Gavin.
I'll have to send you the
I've never
link
heard
to it.
anybody talking to a tree.
Oh yeah. He talked to a tree, all right. Most certainly did.
Mm.
Or there was one time
I've heard of tree huggers, but not tree talkers.
Oh God. There
I've
was
heard of people talking to brick walls, but never a tree.
right.
No,
Well,
I've heard of men looking for knotholes in trees.
There it is. Right on, Mary.
oh God, yeah. It was awesome. And
I don't think they heard you, Cheryl.
Oh,
oh, we heard you.
Look at Paula.
Oh yeah, she's over here about to lose it. So,
Okay, back to the question at hand. That just went out to like left field. The ball didn't get caught or nothing on that. But
our friend Susan says he still talks to trees.
oh God.
He's still up in the tree.
No, he still talks to trees.
Oh, Mary. We have a lot to talk about after the show.
Oh wow.
Mary, I didn't have to ask the question on this one. God, this is hilarious. After all this, I'm trying to put a straight face back on this. Bear with me.
Come on, get your composure.
I'm trying.
I'm gonna find that address for the
Oh God,
adamandeve.com
no!
thing.
Please don't right now.
Oh yeah, I gotta send it to him.
Hey, Gavin.
Yeah.
Mary.
Well, Gavin, when I finally get with you two, you got to take me there.
Okay. Mary, talk about your writings, and I know you have several books out. So tell our audience about your books. Shut up! I don't want to hear it because I cannot talk right at the moment.
What the hell is an audience?
Oh, shut up!
It's an audience. What the hell is an audience?
Oh, shut
Oh
up.
my God! It's an audience.
Okay, I have 5 books. One is Psychic Talk. The other one is Psychic Talk 2. And they explain what it's like to be a psychic. Paula, stop.
I got that turned on too.
Would you be quiet over there?
You can't even talk.
Oh my God!
And my 8-year-old grandson read the book. So I mean, it's down where kids can read it.
Oh, that's good.
I'm watching Paula lose it here.
Oh boy!
Soothing Messages from Heaven
Oh.
is from the galleries that I did and the people that I've given messages to. One thing I don't think a lot of people realize is that even though we're here and we're upset, the people who have passed over really need to get their message to their loved ones here that they are okay. So we're actually working for the people here and the people that have passed over,
Gotcha.
putting both of them at rest. Then the dying gift, my uncle was dying at the time, and he gave me a spiritual gift, and he was not a psychic medium. And then my newest book out is Believe, Fact or Fiction, You Decide. So, and they're on level where it's a fast read, and kids could read it. And I really think if anybody is going nuts trying to figure out if they're a psychic or whatever, they need to read Psychic Talk and Psychic Talk 2, because it talks about PMS. A lot of people, a lot of girls, women, have PMS when it's actually they're an empath or their intuition's trying to tell them something. And even with men, it goes that way too.
You talking about menopause?
Menopause.
Menopause.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world is that?
What the?
Do you know it starts with men? That's why we all have that problem.
Oh, gosh.
Oh gosh.
You know we love you, Gavin.
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh.
Well, I've got a couple of questions that I had gotten from viewers to you guys. One of them is kind of, well, it's out there, but it was kind of an interesting question, and for, well, the source that it came from, but it's interesting, and it came from a 14-year-old, and I had to think of, okay, this is a 14-year-old mind. He's curious, but yet he wanted to know, can psychics be able to work with animals?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because I didn't know if they're one of those that can, read a dog. Well, not read a dog's mind, but be able to, not be like horse whisperers or something like that. But you know what I'm getting at.
The tree whisperer.
Yes, the tree whisperer.
Yes, Paula. Psychic mediums can talk to the spirit of the animal that has thoughts.
And then I had another question that was given to me is, do you think psychic ability is something that for generations and generations, we have always had 100% ability of it, and that the Indians showed us that, you know, we were the people had these abilities because they had, you know, even though they smoked the little peace pipe or whatever in order to see their visions or see their, you know, their loved ones or whatever, but they want to know, you know, can history of that time period affects who we are or who you guys are?
I believe so. What about you, Cheryl?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down. Yes.
Now, Polly, you know that I'm a master hypnotist.
Yes.
And I do past life regressions, as you've seen. And a lot of times we go back and people can tell us things like if they have a fear, for example. This one lady had a fear. She didn't know what it was, and she went back and she found out. Also, you go back to even farther back, and people will tell you they have this feeling that this is going to happen or that's going to happen, and it just carries on. My mom said, you know, she didn't have the ability, but she did. And when she saw me doing my gallery show, she's like talking to the sky, and she's like, wow, that's my daughter up there, and I don't know how she does it. But my mom did it too.
Yeah.
Is it hereditary? Yeah, I would say so. But again, everybody has the ability.
I do remember someone putting me under.
What?
I said I do remember someone putting me under a past life regression.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, talk about it.
Well, let's see. One of my lives, I got it. Well, hell, I don't remember. I know one of them. I lived in Czechoslovakia, and I think I died drowning. And then the other one, I was living in Bulgaria and died in a house fire or something like that. Now my age, I really don't remember.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
When I had you under there, now this is you're going to be answering the question for all the people that are listening. When you were under there, did you feel that were you comfortable under there? Or what?
I was, yeah, I guess I was comfortable.
And you didn't experience anything, correct? You just saw with your mind's eye.
I started seeing architecture and colors and stuff I've never really seen before.
Okay, and when you were under, what were you thinking?
I don't think I was thinking at all. I was just amazed at looking at all this, these visions I was seeing, and well, I guess I was thinking, I'm probably wondering, how in the world am I able to do this?
That's most person's thoughts.
But I mean, it was really bizarre that, you know, I'm actually seeing all this architecture and these buildings and just the town and people that I have never seen before, never been to this place, and I'm actually seeing it in like vivid color. It's like I was like really there. So yeah, that was just kind of weird.
But you did not feel weird afterwards. You remembered quite a bit.
Yeah, I remembered it, a lot of it afterward, and then, you know, days progressed, and a year goes by, I really don't remember most of it anymore. I do remember the 2 countries where I was from. I don't remember how old I was, but I do remember how I died.
Right. It's very interesting.
Say what? Every time I talk, the dog hears me?
No.
What?
I'm going to prove something.
What are you going to prove?
I need a little experiment out of both of you.
Uh-oh. You're going to be talking to a dog.
No.
No?
No, I don't know if it's Cheryl's voice or Mary's voice. Every time they talk, our dog goes nuts in the hallway. I'm serious.
Well, that's good. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign because he's picking up, that we're tapping into him.
Yeah.
Now, the question you asked Mary about the pets
Yeah.
for the 14-year-old.
It's
Well, I want
confirmed.
to answer that. Yeah, I want to answer that for that young man.
Okay.
Yes, I read animals. Absolutely. I have not done wrong when there's been an animal present. If there's a problem with the animal, or if the dog or cat or gerbil or whatever is suffering from any type of depression or stress anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it goes to, you guys asked about, passing it from generation to generation to generation, right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all have that. We all have it. But what I have learned all the years of working with people or being involved with people, that people don't usually know they have it until they hang out with a psychic. And then all of a sudden, here's an example. My ex, Mark, when we first started going out, and dating, and then we got married and we were together for almost 25 years. As the years went on, Mark became more and more intuitive. So the more you hang out with a psychic, you're going to develop your own intuitional psychic mediumship. We all have it. The more you hang out with a psychic, the more you're going to find yourself opening up and also identifying with what you have. So that's what I have to say on those 2 issues.
Well, I've
And
been
that's right. That's totally right.
told that I have a gift too, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I had a strange person.
Well, it's probably an apple from the tree.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to.
I got the free gift from AdamandEve.com.
Oh, Lord.
There it is.
But
Amazon, straight up.
but seriously, I've been told that I have a gift,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it is. Am I a sensitive? Am I an empath? I don't know. I ain't got a clue. What?
Nothing.
Well, what I picked up in you when we first talked about that was you were totally sensitive to the things that are going on around you.
Well, I did
But
have
you
that.
also hesitate.
Yeah, I did have that one experience
you-
that I told you about at the Hinsdale
Right.
house, when all of a sudden I heard
But
a
you
high.
hesitate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we were at the Hinsdale house,
And
and we were upstairs in the parents' room, and I heard a high pitch, like it sounded like a dog whistle, and
Mhm.
I'm partially deaf. I can't hear a signal that freaking high, and I heard it plain as day. And then I told Paula, I go, I mean, it's on the footage. I mean, it was being recorded, so I'm like, I'm hearing what sounds like a dog whistle. And she goes, I don't hear it. And all of a sudden she heard it. So I'm starting to think if that was quote unquote something angelic, because that's a frequency I cannot hear, but yet I did hear it.
Well, it's been proven that people that are tone deaf or near deaf,
Mm-hmm.
they can actually hear things that they wouldn't normally hear, especially when you are hanging out with a lot of psychics. You're opening up, and I know Mary will agree. When you hang out, you will open up those chakras to the point where you can hear things that you wouldn't normally hear. So again, here I've always said this: You are selected. You don't go after it. You're actually selected to be that fortunate to hear stuff like that.
Ah, okay.
And I think you have more than just one ability, Gavin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have another one?
It's not just one. You know what? Like I tell my students, because I teach these classes, the best way to find out is from experience, and make sure that, you know, you write it down, keep track of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to tell you, I'm looking at you here on Facebook, Gavin.
You sure you're looking at me, or are you looking at the dog?
Man behind you.
There's a what behind him?
There's a what behind me?
Gavin has the spirit man behind him. Now, Paula, I get your grandparents or your great-grandparents. I'm not exactly sure which ones, but they're here, and they're acknowledging your wedding. Gavin, there's something with that guy in fishing.
Do you have a grandfather that liked to fish?
No, not really. My grandfather didn't really do any fishing.
Now
It's fish. It could be as simple that you ate fish tonight. I don't know. I just know that he is saying fish.
Well, we had fish sticks 3 nights ago. Was it 3 nights ago? Or two nights ago we had fish sticks. Aww.
He's acknowledging fish with you.
Oh, okay. Fish is brain food, supposedly. Where did I go wrong?
Yeah, he's there, and he's with you always.
Really?
And Paula, you got your grandparents or your great-grandparents on your mom's side?
well, I knew my great-grandmother all the way up till I was about 13 or 14 years old.
Okay, do what?
I said I've known my great-grandparents all the way till I was 13 or 14 years old.
Right.
But I was...
Now, why'd you bring the dog? To see what it does?
Because he was driving me nuts because he kept pacing up and down the hallway. And every time you guys, either one of you would talk, his ears would go straight up. And he would just, like, lose it in the hallway. So I was like, you know what, we're bringing you in here because he kept my peripheral vision kept seeing him in the side. And he was like, I was like, okay, we're bringing him in here. Maybe he'll calm down if I bring him in here.
Well, we brought the psychics out, spirits out. And like I said, ever since Gavin got on here, Cheryl, I don't know if you see the man behind Gavin or not, but I do.
Well, what I'm picking up is an Emily on Gavin's side. There's a female, a young Emily that follows him, and that's going to be from his descendants, and it would be a second generation back.
Huh. Okay. What do you mean by second generation back? As in the past life?
Meaning, like, yes.
Okay.
You have an Emily that follows you. Does an Emily ever appear? You know, like a name? Does it feel like you've known an Emily?
No, not really.
Okay, well, you have an Emily that follows you, a young child-like form that I'm picking up in you. Now, as far as that man that you're seeing, that man that you're seeing, Mary?
Yeah.
He's about 72 to me. He's a tall and kind of like a burly type individual.
You just described my father.
Very strong, masculinity-wise, okay? And he also did hunting. He's a fisherman. But when I pull it in, like Mary pulls it in, this person, what it means to me, what it represents to me, to Mary could be two different things. But when it comes to the fish, he's Christ was a fisherman. So he's always looking after you in the godly sense of the mind and the frame of mind, that when you're down and out, this is the person that comes to you.
You just described her
he
father.
Also wears coveralls.
Yeah, you just described
He wears coveralls a lot.
You just described her father.
He didn't wear coveralls. He wore suspenders. But
Well, same thing.
Well, then that's who it is. You know, it's
father?
got to
He's
be the
following
father
him.
figure
My father,
because that's who it is.
My father was he loved fishing. He was one of those
And hunting.
And hunting. He was one of those. He made everybody get up in the house at 5 o'clock in the morning. We had to be at the watering hole by 6 a.m. and we all had to keep our mouths shut for 4 hours because he says if you start talking, the fish ain't biting.
Yep.
Now, Paula, was he a godly man?
He was the last 10 years of his life. When he was actually my
Right.
stepfather, but he pretty well raised me from the age 4 and up. So he was pretty well my father. And, but last 10 years of his life, he had gotten real bad sick, and he had turned to the church, which was my mom's church. Well, me and my mom's church both. And he started, he didn't actually physically go to church, but he started having people come to the house and on a weekly basis. And he started, yes, I do 100% believe he was with, he had turned to God in the last 10 years of his life.
He also brings up the cigars. Now, I don't know if he smoked them or whatever, but
He used to when he was younger until before he got sick.
right. So he's back there choking on a cigar.
Oh,
just
great.
so you know.
He smoked for like 40-something years until he contracted emphysema.
So there you go, Mary. There you go. We just done a read, Mary.
Yeah.
Huh. So her father's following me.
He likes you.
Right. And he really appreciates how well you take care of her.
Wow,
That's a good thing.
You got acceptance from my past family.
Wow. I'm accepted by her passed on father. Awesome.
Oh well, you're accepted by my family anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He thinks the world of Gavin.
Aw. Go ahead and put
He
it
thinks the world of you, Gavin.
Okay, I'll put you back, buddy.
back. That's a good thing.
It's hot.
Hey, what's your dog's name?
Bocephus.
Bocephus. Ouch.
What?
Bocephus.
Bocephus, as in the nickname of Hank Williams Jr. Bocephus.
Yeah, Bocephus. I
Are you cute or puppy?
call him Little Man. Yep.
Do you spot things over there? Oh, yeah, look at those ears go up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
look at him.
Go ahead and put him
Wow,
back so we can get
Cheryl,
some water.
He's tapping on the watch.
Tapping on the watch.
Talk to him, Cheryl.
I want to talk to the
He's
dog.
tapping on the watch.
Who's tapping on the watch?
Her dad.
Oh, my dad.
Oh, your dad's
dad.
tapping on a watch. Why'd he tapping on a watch?
He's tapping on your watch.
He's telling me to tell you it's about time to marry his daughter.
Oh.
To be married. You guys married.
That'll be June 23rd, sir. Wherever you are.
And his brother's the one that's giving me away.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. His brother... Here, pick up, Grayson. His brother went ahead and said something about, I'm going to be throwing you away. I mean, I'm going to be giving you away.
Oh, here comes the cat now. The cat wants to turn.
This is my buddy.
Well, that's one wedding.
This is my
That's
buddy.
going to be one wedding with all the paranormal people in a haunted place at a
Yeah.
wedding.
Out.
Yep. They call us the paranormal sweethearts. And we're getting married in a...
There it is.
We're getting married in a church, but the reception is going to be at
In
a
a-
100-year-old building that's haunted.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The ballroom's on the top floor. It's let's see, it's a sixth floor building. It used to be an old hotel with a ballroom on the top, but they've turned the hotel part into apartments. And then the top house is the penthouse with the big huge ballroom. And the ballroom has not changed since the 1940s.
Yeah, that's really cool. Up at the penthouse.
Was he a book reader?
Who? My dad? No, but he loved listening to books on tape.
Who was the book reader? Because between you two, there's something about a whole bunch of books, like a library.
Oh God, that's me.
That's me, too.
Okay. I can see it. I'm sorry, it just came to me. I couldn't help it.
No, we are book poor. We're all kinds of book poor, and it yeah.
we have a library, our own personal. We have a paranormal library. We have a visual effects library. We have a movie library.
A science fiction
library. Computer library. Information technology library. Oh yeah, we're just a library.
And
Can
plus,
somebody-
and plus historical
Can
books. too.
somebody ask Susan Perry what her question is? She wants somebody to read. Does she have a certain question?
I don't know. Where's that question at?
You have to look through your feed.
It's on the Facebook. I'm looking right at it.
What does it say?
What's her question, or does she say?
Well, she wants someone to read her, and she's not sure she's going to like what she hears. And she says, mediums around here are worth going to, in my opinion. I think she meant not going to. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
We have
She
two
has
psychic
certain
mediums in
Let me
Utica
get
that
there.
are not worth crap.
I don't see
What's
it
her
on here.
name?
Her name is Susan Perry.
Susan Perry, but I wanted to know if she has one certain question.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't see it on here.
Have you updated the page? Sometimes you have to close it out.
No, I do.
What is the question? As she said, because
I have to refresh.
I'm seeing.
She's
You're not getting it. You have to
writing.
refresh.
She wrote the Ritz Hotel in Orange.
Yeah, you're not getting it.
Which
You
I
have to
got that.
refresh.
Okay.
That the meetings aren't
I'm refreshing
worth
here.
going to, in her opinion. So, Susan, if you can hear me, this is Mary. If you could write your question.
Let's see. I refresh.
Or you might have to click on it. Sometimes I had to do that. No, it's
I don't
not
see it.
establishing.
I don't see it.
Susan Michelle.
It's right above Dave William Harding, where he says, computer still talk to me. Haha.
Computer still talking.
She says, I would like someone to read me, but I am not sure if I'd like what I hear. Meetings around here are not worth going to, in my opinion.
Right. And that's what I was wondering.
Okay.
One specific question. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I see
I
the Ritz
got it.
Hotel and I see Aren't.
No, she just asked the question. She lost a friend in '08. Just wanted to know if he's still around. And I get, yes, he's still around. He's always going to be around, and you should know that. I'm also picking up around him an accident. I'm also picking up a lot of chaos and no closure. And I also get this is very hard for you. But to me, he's telling me to tell you that he is fine. He's not going to leave you. And yes, the noise you are hearing, that's him. Now, does that make sense to you, Susan? Okay.
Well, you
gotta
gotta
wait-
realize
you gotta
got a
wait for her
45 Yeah, because we are on a
There's a
45
second delay. So I don't see her typing. yet.
Can I go there too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Susan, hold on a second here. I'm going to pull your picture up because I'm going to read right into you.
Yeah, I just gave her a real sharp version.
She said, "Oh my God."
Susan, was there a lot of blood?
Ew.
Susan, Cheryl's answering you now or asking you questions. Yeah.
Okay, tell her that I can see it and that he wants her to also know that he was thinking about her when he was passing. Was she there?
Hmm.
Was she there at the time of the accident?
Well, that's what we're waiting on.
She's not.
Yeah, we're waiting on it.
She has a delay.
She said, did he commit suicide?
Yes.
Yes and no. She was there, yes and no.
Yes and no means she was
Yes
there.
and no what?
I don't know. Yes and no what, Susan? Gotta love this 45-second delay.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's... I mean, she said no.
No, she wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
No what?
No, she wasn't there.
She wasn't there? Okay. Tell her that he felt her presence. He remembers her singing. Did she sing?
I don't know. Susan, do you sing?
Or did you sing to him?
I don't know. If Susan sings, we're going to karaoke bar.
I had to get rid of the sweater. I was burning up.
I'll bet.
Susan, I feel like you're kind of upset and overwhelmed right now.
Oh my God, I knew it. He killed himself. I knew it in my heart.
He hears her sing in the bathroom while she's showering. He gave her his heart.
Oh wow.
He shows me a heart with a lot of hearts around it. And he cares for her still very deeply.
Well, I think you just gave her some closure.
Good.
Yes, that's what you needed. And also him too, because on the other side, he sung with her. There's an answer. And he's trying to get through to her to let her know that he is okay. And that he does love her.
She said that I sung with him and he sung with me. Or sung to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Wow. Huh.
Did they ever roller skate together, or did they ever go roller skating? Because he brings up the roller skates for her to remember.
Wow. I haven't been roller skating in years.
The last time I went, I fell 6 times. I'm good.
Yeah. Right?
I realized then I was too old to go skating.
Tell you what, the first time I ever went roller skating, the wheels were metal.
I
just went roller skating about 2 years ago, and I'm glad I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, she went roller skating and fell 6 times.
I was about
That hurt.
Yeah?
That was about 6 years ago, and that was about the last time I ever went. My girls outdid me, and I said, okay, it's time for me to retire.
Give me rollerblades, I'll be happy.
Oh, I can't do rollerblades. I could barely do ice skates, and that's if I hang on to the wall.
Oh, I won't do no ice skates. I'm sorry. No. Nope.
Cheryl, your answer is no.
I can't hear it.
No. The answer is no.
No.
No?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, the roller skate to him means something. That's why he brought it up.
Huh.
It could be a symbol too. It could be a symbol like
Yeah.
he was rolling along and just couldn't handle anymore. But I do know that something that he does and he did, and he always will love you.
And I can second that.
He was just skating in life. He wasn't living life. That's what those skates.
Like skating right through life and not really paying attention to too much what could have been paying attention to.
Yeah.
Kind of like riding a skateboard with not a care in the world.
Right.
Yep.
And that sometimes can be a good thing too.
He had one song he always sung to me. Thanks, lady, for some closure. I've had so many questions for so long. Well, there you go. A live closure on our radio show.
Amen.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, it's plug time. So if you want to go ahead and tell our listeners and our viewers where they can get a hold of you, or if you guys are going to be doing any events around town in the near future between now and, of course, next year, and if you have a website that they can go to. Mary, you can go first.
Go for it, Mary. I'll let you roll with that one.
Okay, I'm going to be doing a few things next year. I'm working with you guys in May in Kentucky. I'm going to be back up to the East Coast Paracon up in Pennsylvania in October.
Cool.
I'm going to be with Cheryl on her event, and then in August. And there's something else I can't remember. But as you know, my daughter's having a baby, and the baby's due in March, so I'm not going to be doing anything really going anywhere. But they can all go to my website, which is www.marybarrett.org. They can find my books up there. They can do reading, gift certificates, all that.
Okay.
Cheryl?
Yes, ma'am. What I'm going to be doing in the near future in January, I will be in Atlanta, Georgia, doing some stuff down there that I really can't indulge in talking about at this time, and it's actually confidential.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, I'm working diligently on my paranormal conference, August 18th of 2018 in Lincoln, Nebraska. And working on my book and focusing on graduating from Doane University. And then also working on the book, and they can find me on Facebook. And they can look up Cheryl Anne Fletcher or Cheryl Fletcher. I have 5 different pages. I'm a photographer. I do afterlife services. I am also just a friend to many. And then if they want to look up my website, my professional website, it's Extraordinary Connections with CherylAnne.com. Or they can call me at 402-217-6334.
All right. Awesome. All right, folks. Well, there you go. You've got to listen to 2 psychics and learn about what they do and how they do it and how they actually can help people. And if you notice toward the very end of the show, we actually have a live closure to a viewer, and you actually get to witness it right here on the show. So we're going to go ahead and close out the show here. Hope everyone had a good time, as we really did. We're glad that you guys were on the show. It was our pleasure and our honor to have you on the show, so we do appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
We love you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite, and thank you for all listening.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. We want to shout out to all your audience for tuning in, to be a part of our lives, and to share our experiences and to be able to connect with your viewers. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Gavin and Paula, for a wonderful time tonight. And we wish you all the best when it comes to your wedding and all that jazz. And we love you dearly.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And just go ahead and hang in there, and we'll go ahead and close the show out here. So you guys got their information to know about their writing. One's got books, 5 books out. One is going to be working on a book. You got their website and everything. We'll go ahead and put all their links and stuff on the website. But I hope everybody had a good time, and we are going to sign off. Everybody have a great evening.
Night, guys.
Mary, are you still there?
Yeah, I think the radio's still coming. Okay, Cheryl, I'm going to disconnect.